guys, today is April 25th and long time no see. I wanted to apologize about just kind of disappearing for the past, I think it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm not sure. But what happened is I got really sick and I got sick in Belarus, and so when we got back, the first couple days I was just not feeling well, and then I got really not feeling well and I was lying in bed, this bed, for 9 or 10 days. I don't remember anymore. It was all such a blur, but it was awful. And trust me, like, the last thing you want to do is like see me sick. I think I don't know if you can hear it, my voice is all wonky, and I'm gonna spare you that, like me looking like a total mess. So yeah, I didn't do any videos basically because I was just like way out of it. I didn't do anything, like I didn't get out of bed, like I said. So that's what I'm gonna compile the past couple of videos, past couple weeks into the same video. Like, need to get my head together and do that. So I think right now, because I don't know what I'm gonna do this week, because I'm still a little like recovering, but I've been eating a lot of berries and blueberries and raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, and it's been very yummy. Red currants, and so I think that's probably helpful as well. And let's see. Okay, so I want to tell you a funny story. It actually happened several weeks ago before we went to Belarus, and we went to this one restaurant that we found on our first day here, and we went and just started walking around everywhere, just randomly, like getting lost in Paris, which by the way I highly recommend. If you come to Paris, spend like a day not having any activities planned and just walk around aimlessly, and when you're tired and exhausted and hungry or thirsty or cold or hot, whatever season you come in, then just find something nearby, sit down and just relax, and then keep wandering around. And it's really fun to do. I really like it, but anyway, not the point. So that's what we did the very first day we got here, and we found this restaurant. It's called Les Louis, and it is really good. And the lady who works, I don't know if she owns the restaurant or she is a part owner or something. I'm confused on the details, but she's very nice and very friendly, and I really like her. And it's like this really tiny little, very French restaurant, and we go there every now and again. It's in the first, so it's a little ways off for us to go. We walked there actually, and it took, it was like 5 kilometers in every direction to go. So I mean, we could have taken a cab or a metro or whatever, but we just wanted to walk. But anyway, so we don't go there that frequently, mostly because if we ever go out to eat, we always get sushi. So, and so anyway, so we're sitting there. It's like a really long-winded story, but all my stories are long. So we're sitting there. Anyway, we get there like right around 7 p.m., which was when it opens, and we sit down, you know, we are ordering our food, whatever, everything's great. More people start coming in, no problem, whatever. There's some American speaking people, especially since it was like around spring break time. I've noticed that there was a lot, like between like the last 2 weeks of March and the first like 2 weeks of April, there were so many Americans here, and I'm like relatively certain it's because of spring break. And so there was 2 couples, and everybody in this place that we've seen, well, not everybody, because we've seen a couple Koreans that were young, like Korean people that were young there before, but mostly there's like older couples like in their 50s, etc. So as being in our 20s, we're like don't kind of fit in that place. So yeah, okay, so there's a couple sitting. So there's this couple that comes in and they sit right next to us, and I don't know who the woman was, like if she was French or not. She spoke French, and when she spoke English she had an accent, but I don't know if it was French specifically. I think it was, but the guy was American for sure, and he was just living here. And so they were together and they sat down right next to us, and we were speaking Russian like we normally usually do, and we're just having our conversation, la-di-da, you know, having our food, everything's great, you know, no problem. And the entire time they were sitting next to us, they were crapping all over us. They were like, so they thought we didn't speak English, which is funny because I lived in America for like decades. And so they're sitting there and talking about how like, ugh, everything here sucks. It's all the people, like these people here, like these Eastern Europeans coming here, and like they probably found it on TripAdvisor. Like, what's with these young people like coming to this place? It's all touristy now, and the by the way, the woman was like so like unhappy looking. Everything she said sounded like, you know, when you talk and you just, everything has like an edge to your voice. Well, that's how she was talking the whole time. And like all these tourists, they probably found it on TripAdvisor. What are they doing here anyway? What, I'm so tired of these non-English speaking tourists or something like that, she said. And like, and he's like, yeah, Eastern Europe, like it's awful, blah 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 blah, like talking, and like what else did they say? So basically they were crapping all over us. And the funny thing is, here's the kicker, this is the best part for me, is that they're complaining, sitting there, about tourists and how, that this restaurant is like all bad now because probably like all over TripAdvisor, and that's why all these people are coming here and we need to find a new place. The kicker is there was a convention during that weekend, and they don't even live in Paris. They're not even locals. They're not. They're tourists. Like basically, I mean, sure they live in France somewhere, but they don't live in Paris. And they're sitting there complaining about us who actually do live in Paris, and how, you know, awful everything is, and how we need to leave because, you know, Eastern Europeans don't belong. So I thought it was really funny because it's like, you shouldn't talk crap about people when, especially when they're sitting right next to you, because you really never know what languages they speak. I mean, like nowadays, so many people speak so many languages, and the funny part is that like a large majority of Eastern Europeans in any country that's Eastern European speak English. So regardless of whether or not we lived in America, it's like the chances and probability is very, very high that you will understand what you're saying. And they weren't even quiet about it. And the thing is, then the lady came over to us because we go there, I mean, on a semi-regular basis, and she knows us, and she started talking to us, and they're like, wait, what? Like, they're like looking at us because we were talking to her in English. And then my husband was like saying that, oh yeah, like, you know, we used to come here more frequently, but now we live further out, and so it's, you know, it takes us longer to get here and stuff. And she was like, oh, where are you living? We're like in the 7th, blah blah. And then like she leaves, and they're sitting there like, I hate the 7th. It's so expensive. I prefer going in, like living in the 20th, like when I stay here and stuff. And for reference, the 20th is where the cemetery is. It's like way on the outskirts of Paris, and that's where the cemetery is. So I don't know what's up with these people, but I thought it was so funny. Like the whole time we're coming back from the restaurant, we're just like laughing because it's like just the resentment from them, like how much they despised us for like existing and like being there in their way. And and they were like, oh, why they're too young to live in the 7th. Why are they, what did they say? See, now I'm fuzzy because it's been a couple weeks, but something about how like we don't belong there, and how are we living there, and why are we even here in the first place? And they were just at the end of the thing pretty confused about what was going on. But you really shouldn't talk about people behind their backs. You know, just be nice to people. Like, what's it to you? But yeah, let's see. What else? I want to say, oh, another funny story. I don't know if that was even funny for you or not. It was funny for me, so I decided to share. And another story is that when we were in Belarus, when we went to Minsk, we stayed at the Beijing Hotel, which is like a Chinese hotel. And I mean, it's like literally Chinese hotel. And so they have a Chinese restaurant there. And so we went to have dinner. Yeah, dinner. And we sit down and everything's in Russian. And all the waiters and everything, I mean, they have it in English as well and in Chinese. So, and there was like another convention there with like a bunch of Chinese delegates, and the whole street was like barricaded and blocked off. There was like crazy security all around the hotel, which I mean, it's cool. We were being very protected. And there was like a bunch of Chinese delegates there, and so they were having some kind of event for something, I don't know. And so the Chinese restaurant had like a bunch of people in there, like a bunch of Chinese in there, but so that's not even the point. So we sit down, and the waiter is a Belarusian person, speaks Russian, speaking Russian to us, whatever. Like, they just, you know, you see white people, they just speak Russian to you. And so we go to order. Yeah, okay, I lost my train of thought, sorry. So we go to order, and I love, 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 love hot and sour soup. It's like one of my favorite, probably soups, like Asian soups. I love hot and sour soup. And so I order it, and he's like, ooh, I wouldn't recommend you to get that. The most, when people order it, they either complain about it or they send it back or they don't like it or something like that. It was something about how, you know, they're not satisfied with the soup. And I was like, and my husband's like, did the Chinese like it? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well then we'll get it. He's like looking at us like, okay. And then and then we asked for chopsticks as well, so yeah, they wouldn't bring us a fork. And so we order like a couple other things, and they bring it out. And so, like, we just got the food. We just barely tasted it. I mean, like 3 seconds passed. He like runs up to us. He's like, what did he say? He's like, what is wrong? And I'm like, we're like, nothing. Everything's great. And he's like looking at us like, y'all are weird. And he like walks away and like avoids us the entire duration of the meal. And the funny thing is that soup, the hot and sour soup, was actually one of the best hot and sour soups I've ever tried. And the chef, the main chef, is that called this? No, it's not the sous chef. So just the chef, I guess. He is Chinese from, I forgot which area, the Hunan? Well, I forgot which area, but he's Chinese, and the head like sous chef and stuff is Chinese as well. So it was actually really, really good Chinese food. But yeah, so he didn't get us. I guess like most people don't get us. A lot of people, not most, but a lot of people. Like, we confuse them, I suppose. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what's been up lately with stuff, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I don't know what we're gonna do this week or what am I sure. Oh, I knew there was something else. Okay, so probably like a couple months ago now, I mentioned that I was gonna go to the Lovelock Bridge and we're gonna go to the hardware store and get a lock and put it on and everything like that. Well, that's not gonna happen anymore. I mean, if you even remember me talking about it or not, but it's been a while. That's not happening anymore because the thing I found out is that last April 2016, the city of Paris, I don't know if they passed a law or they did some kind of governing decision or something, but well, I mean, they did a decision, but I don't know if it's like a actual legal law that you have to follow, but or if it's more of a, you get what I mean. And so what they did is they took the bridge, like on the bridge where they had the, I think it was like the barbed wire kind of fencing. So with all the logs, they took it down, they threw it away, they put up a new wall that you can't attach locks to, and they made a law that you no longer can attach locks on the bridge. And there was people still trying to do that. There was in the back, there's like these little hole things, and so they try to attach it to that, and then they take it down and they put like a weaving type of thing so that you couldn't attach locks. And some people still do try to attach the locks, and it was funny because I was reading the comments and somebody was writing, like a French person, that like you should start ticketing these, like giving out tickets to these tourists because they're being so disrespectful because, you know, we don't want these locks on the bridge and blah 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 and stuff. So the Lovelock Bridge is no longer a thing in Paris. There is no bridge like that anymore, and you're not allowed to. And like a lot of bridges, when you see them, there's like a sign, not a lot, but there are several bridges with a sign that says no locks on it. They're trying to like stop people from hanging locks all over the city basically. So, and you do see a couple here and there, and yeah, but you're not supposed to do that anymore. So it's very, they don't like it, and they consider it disrespectful because they don't want him there. So if you're planning to come to Paris and, you know, put your love out there, you can't do that anymore. You have to keep your love to yourself. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna go. That's it for now. I think I've bored you long enough, and I will see you later.